Rick Daddy here. We're inside the Riceboy TV garage where we're starting a new segment called the Service Library. This is where we're going to teach you how to work on your own car, do some simple maintenance stuff, and save you some cash on the side. We're going to start off simple with an oil change. So that's the most frequent maintenance you're going to perform on your car anyways. You should always do it between 3,000 miles or 3 months, whichever one comes first. We have all the stuff you need for an oil change right here. You need a 21mm socket for the wheel lock to take the wheel off, a ratchet, a 17mm wrench, 6 quarts of oil for my NSX, because it takes 5.3. We're using Royal Purple Synthetic. You can use non-synthetic if you want. It's a little bit cheaper, but synthetic is always better. An oil filter, a jack to get the car up, jack stands for safety, and a bucket to drain the dirty oil into. Ideally, you want to do this when the engine's cool. That way you don't burn yourself. Since the NSX is mid-engine, the filter's in the back with the motor. I'm going to break the lugs loose on the wheels so I can get to it after I jack it up. We'll start off in the back, jack it up from a tow hook under the car, and slip some jack stands into there for safety. Now that the car's up in the air, I can use the wheel key, take off the lug nuts, drop the wheel, and access the oil filter. Your engine's like a vacuum, so you want to take off the oil filler cap before you remove the drain plug. That way all the dirty oil leaves your engine. Now that I'm under the car, I want to line up the bucket with the drain plug, use a 17mm wrench, and loosen it. This is where it gets messy, so you want to drop the drain plug and get out of the way. Let gravity do its work. You're going to want to wait till the old oil is completely drained from your engine. So in the meantime, you can take the drain plug, clean it off, make sure there's no metal shavings on it, pop off the crush washer, and replace it with a new one. All right, now it looks like it's almost done draining. We'll replace the drain plug with the new washer, thread it in about halfway, wipe off any of the excess drips, then fully tighten it. We'll use a 17mm wrench again, torque it down. Make sure you don't over tighten this or you'll be hating life trying to get it out again. All right, now we can take the oil filter off. Providing that you didn't over tighten it last time, like I did, then you should be able to take it off by hand. Let all the oil drain into the bucket as well. If you can't get the oil filter off, you can always pick up an oil filter wrench at the auto parts store, or as a last resort, you could stab it with a screwdriver and twist it off, but you really don't want to do that. We have the old filter and the new filter. The most important thing to check is the thread inside, make sure it's the same. The size sometimes differs, but as long as the thread is the same inside, you should be able to use it. All right, here's the old filter. It's really important that this rubber gasket comes off with it. Sometimes they pop off and they stick to the inside of your motor. When you try to put the new filter on, you have 2 gaskets in there. Turn on the engine, oil will gush everywhere. Not good. Just as important, make sure the new filter has a rubber ring too, because if you don't have one there, same thing. All right, we're ready to put the new filter on, but we want to help this rubber gasket seal, so you're going to want to lube it up a little bit with some new oil. Also, you want to fill a little bit of the oil up into the filter, let it soak in a little bit, then you're good to go. All right, you're going to want to line up the new filter with the threads. Turn it clockwise so it gets tight. Hand tighten it, wipe off the excess oil on it, and then snug it down. All right, here's the old oil. You always want to make sure you dispose of it properly. That means don't dump it in the toilet, don't drain it down the gutter, anything like that. It's all bad for the environment. You can take it to certain auto parts stores or oil change places and they'll recycle it for you for free. All right, now that we have the old dirty oil out, put the drain plug back in, put the new filter on. It's time to fill up the engine with fresh new oil. If you don't want it to be a mess, you should use a funnel. If you don't have a funnel, you can always cut an oil bottle in half and use that as a funnel. If you didn't do it already, check your owner's manual to see how much oil your engine takes. Make sure you don't top it off because that'll jack up your engine, and trust me, I know a lot of people who have done it. Don't forget to replace the oil filter cap, then put the wheel back on. Jack up the car, remove the jack stand, lower the car, then torque down the lug nuts. All right, we're ready to fire up, make sure there's no leaks. Start the engine and make sure the oil pressure light doesn't come on and there are no leaks. Then one last time for good measure, pull out the dipstick, check the levels, make sure everything's correct. It's kind of hard to see since the oil's clean now. Close your hood and you're done. The more you change your own oil, the more money you'll save in the long run. Just make sure you dispose of it properly, like an Eli's coffee cup. Check back to riceboytv.com for more service library stories on how to work on your own car.